that a lot of persons are not comfortable with the word, but I'll also be interchanging it with bad B just for the sake of YouTube, so that I don't have to edit it too much. I don't like over editing my videos. She doesn't have fear of losing anybody. And I'm not just talking about romantic relationship, even though this video is more of the romantic relationship than other relationship. You see, a bad bee is not afraid of losing anybody. She knows that if they walk away from her life, that's fine. And if they need to go, that's also fine. The thing about being afraid to lose people or let people go is that it shows that you lack confidence in yourself. And people would start to perceive you as one who doesn't have what it takes. It feels like you're trying to depend on them on what you don't have. And if you find yourself in a romantic relationship and this is your situation, you're placing whoever it is, whatever job it is, whatever business it is, you're placing it over you. And when you place people over you, they control you. Certainly, whatever it is you're doing would always be to pander to their needs. So you'll find yourself behaving in ways just to please them. This is what you don't want to find yourself doing as a queen or as a goddess. If you're not okay with the impact or the value they bring into your life, you can let people go. Some of them would step up. That's those who really want to be in your space would step up. And if they don't step up, then it's very clear that they do not want to be in your space. Another lesson you can learn from a bad bee, she is a strategic woman. You see, bad bees are women who are intentional about everything they do. And I've talked about being a strategic woman in one of my videos. I'll link it up in the description box. She leaves little room to chance. And I say little room because you cannot be too uptight all the time. Of course, there are times that you should allow a bit of flexibility because you're human and you truly want to enjoy life. Make sure it's not something you will end up regretting. Like I said here, this is what I wrote. She tailors her activities to suit the lifestyle she wants, especially for those of you who would like to date very wealthy men. It's good that you check the kind of activities you have, because these people pay attention to those activities. Well, this is something I know. And you might say, oh, if he doesn't accept me for who I am, but if it's something you want, then come on, you have to alter some things, like changing your activities. So you have to get involved in things that they also find appealing and activities that would put you in their space. And a bad bit knows that he has to invest in her. If you are dating a guy, one of the things that keeps him is that he has to invest in you. Time, resources, name them. When a guy doesn't feel like he has invested in you, it's easy for him to get up and walk away. This also applies to other kind of relationship. If you notice, if you have friends or people who are well invested in you, they wouldn't just want to walk away when they see that this person has so much value and you have been impactful in their lives as well. Moving on to the next point, because I'm trying not to make this video a long one. Queens and goddesses, if you haven't subscribed, please make sure you subscribe, please. By the end of this month, I should be hitting at least okay, I don't want to say the numbers because it's funny. So one of the lessons you can also learn from a bad bee is that, okay, let me read this how I wrote it down here. Even if your goal is to get a man who will provide for you 100%, you have to appear or show up as a woman who's got her own life going on for her. And I'm not talking about trying to prove to be Miss Independent. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that this man has to know that something is going on in your life. There are things going on in your life. He needs to know that when you come into his space, you wouldn't be clingy. He wants to know that you have your own thing going on. And this, again, is important because if anything happens to him in the future, God forbid something happens to him in the future, he wants to be sure that his wife or the woman in his life can also manage his family in his absence. So you need to show them that your own life, you have things going on for you, and you know your life is organized, you are into this regardless of whatever it is you're doing, regardless of the kind of job you're doing. Make sure you do it in such a way that shows him if you mess up, you're out of the door. That is what successful men like. That is what real men like. I don't know about any other type, because we have these days, it's just really funny. We have a lot of them out there, especially on Twitter. You just go on their phone and then start typing I remember when we're young, we don't see things like this. Men were about providing, protecting, securing their women and all of that. But these days, we have a lot of debates about these things. Well, we are still talking lessons we should learn from a bad bee understands the game of patience. Let's go if it doesn't work for you. The queens and goddesses, when something does not work for you, don't stress yourself. Now, in accounting, there's something they call sunk cost when you feel like you have invested in something. Now, this is just like a general knowledge. I don't want to be professional. So, when you feel like you have invested in something and instead of letting it go because it's not going to work out, you just feel that because you have made that initial investment, you need to keep making more and more and more, and that's how you keep depositing your money, your resources, your time into that thing, and at the end of the day it doesn't work. The bad bee knows that she wants to get the best for herself. She wants the man who can do the job. So she's not about just taking anybody who enrolls or anybody who sits for the interview. She's not taking in. So just because you show up for an interview doesn't mean you get to have the job. She understands that clearly. So let me see what I wrote here. So I said, let's go if it does not work for her, date multiple, and chooses the best man for the job. You need to, at this point, understand that you have to first date multiple people before you choose the man for the job. And I don't know what your definition of dating is, but if you're on this channel, you should already know that dating means, getting to know people. Like I heard on which channel was that? Who was I listening to that said it's collecting data? And that's very true. Dating is just collecting information for your own use, and then you get to see what really works for you. Even if you find yourself in the environment where these people would usually frequent, you would still want to select. It's not everybody who comes your way because he's successful and he has the money and all of that. You still want somebody who is good for the job. You have to understand the game of patience. So if this person comes, don't be scared that if he walks away, another one will not come. Better ones will come. If you can attract that one, you can attract even better. Another thing about a bad bee is that, just like I said, this is like a summary of the book. Well, I'm not giving you chapter for chapter, but this is what the book really talks about. And instead of going to chapter 1, this is what it says, which I believe if you go on YouTube and you type why men love, you would see like tens or hundreds of book summary on it. So you could go and watch those videos. This is just learning generally from the book and other things as well, and my experience as well, because people use that name on me and I see them coming back again and again. Like I would show you okay, I said I will show you. Okay. I'm not even showing my face on the like I could tell you for free that people that have used that word on me 7-10 years ago are still in my DM today. And I'm not capping. You have to look out for yourself. Like the definition says, babe in total control of herself. Another thing you can learn from a bad bee is, this is the one I love the most, and is mystery. She knows how to use mystery to her advantage. Now, if you are familiar with most of these videos, move in silence kind of videos on YouTube, especially, I speak of YouTube because YouTube is where I visit frequently. Now, if you're familiar with those kinds of videos, you will understand that when people talk about mystery, they would usually liken it to silence, being silent until it happens, then you reveal it, and this, and not telling people certain things and all of that. Very true. But let me also tell you something. A bad bee knows the best time and way to unravel a side or something about her that is not yet known. So while you're moving in silence, there's a way to use it to your advantage. The times you find yourself in a relationship where you feel like things are beginning to look rotational, that is the time where you go into that mystery box and pull up something again so that you can create some form of excitement. This is what bees know, and they just know how to use it. So the whole thing about being mysterious is not for you to be totally silent. There are things that you should be silent about, and then there are things that you should learn to, pull up from that mystery box every once in a while. And then if you're the kind of person who feels that you don't have enough to pull off from that mystery box, even while dating these people, you could go and learn about something, or you could get involved in something and not necessarily tell them. When you learn about it and then the time comes for you to just flaunt it every, here and there, then you use it to your advantage. This would also create, this excitement in the relationship. When you sit with a guy and then he's talking about how exciting you are, and how there's just something about you, like every time he feels like he knows you, something else comes up. That whole thing, it just makes the chase more exciting. So this is what men really like. They just want to know that, oh, there's always something there that they haven't found buried in there, and it comes out at the right time. So it will really help you. What did I say here? I said, okay, enjoy silence. Um, this is also, I said, okay, let me treat this one first. Enjoy silence. Now, you don't have to talk all the time, and this is why bad bees, sometimes you find them and then they're not saying too much, they're paying attention, because that's very essential. I would say that again and again. So many of my videos, I've said this before. Learn to enjoy silence, and you have to practice that on your own first before you can do that with someone else. Know how to control your mind. You just enjoy what is going on. You don't have to speak when you go out or when you're with people, not just a man, and there's that moment of silence. You wouldn't feel awkward. But if you're always talking all the time, or you cannot stay in your own company, you just want, this brings me to the next thing. You don't understand you don't understand the essence of having a personal space. You would always want to talk, you would always want to be in somebody's space, and these are the things people don't really like, especially people who have things to offer, value to offer. You would notice that they really enjoy their personal space, they really enjoy silence every now and then, because it just affords them um the luxury of thinking and then coming up with new ideas. You hear some of these men, not just men, also successful people, talking about how they were able to bet ideas in their moments of silence, and some of them will even travel or go to places where they don't have to do too many human interaction, just so that they can think clearly. So when you find yourself in company of those kind of people, you don't want to be the one who is talking all the time, blah blah blah. Babe, did you know this? Can you remember that, my friend? Oh, did you know that? Oh, the prices of this thing has gone up. Did you know? Oh, I didn't tell you when I was coming to your house the other day. Oh, blah blah blah, blah. You're always talking. You have to learn. It doesn't matter even if you are an extrovert. You have to learn to enjoy silence. Control your mouth. Control what you say, because your words are your creation tools. And not just that, and because people will judge you by what you say, and sometimes when you talk too much, you end up saying too many things you don't want to say. And right now I feel like I'm talking too much on this point. So another lesson you can learn from a bad bee is that this is it, and I feel this is what makes a bad bee a bad bee: emotional mastery, emotional control. Learn how to use your emotions to your favor. Now, this sounds like a manipulating point. Well, like I said, this channel is not for the conventional woman, it's the unconventional woman, it's for queens and goddesses. And these are women who know how to get what they want. These are women who understand that you have to be strategic to create the kind of life you want, the kind of lifestyle you want. You need to be strategic. So some of my points might not sound appealing to you. Well, that's okay. This channel is not completely for that. So learn how to use emotions to your favor. There are times that you might, please don't go and become a crybaby, but there are times that you might just need to cry to show these emotions. It depends on what you're trying to get. um I don't know why women just think that going to a man's face and then feeling like you're a man. No, I never cry, I never do. Sometimes that thing scare them off, and I'm not saying go and become a crybaby. No, sometimes you don't even have to cry, but just showing that you're hurt, or showing, some of these emotions, even if that's not how you feel. Even if it's a strategy, sometimes you need to pull that card. It's going to work. I use it all the time. It works for me. I'm not a crybaby, but I know when to pull certain cards. I know when to pull certain emotion. And that is what emotional mastery is really all about. Because I know we talk about controlling your emotions, don't get angry, don't get. No, it's really about how to use it to your favor. That's when, if we are talking about a strategic woman, it's really about how to use it to your favor. It's really about how to think ahead, think about the future, and not allowing your current emotions ruin what you already have. Queens and goddesses, you should go check out the video I did about Robert Greene, 33 Strategies of War. I'll be doing another one on the book itself. I've read that book like time and time again, and it's very funny how people find other books like his book on seduction and laws of power and all of that very interesting, but I rarely hear them talk about the 33 strategies of war, which I find very interesting. If you're on this channel, is a book that you should try to read. He uses most of his illustration from war that has been fought and how they were able to win those battles, but I highly recommend it, and make sure you watch the video I did on it, and I'll be doing another one very soon, most likely the next video, or if not the next video, I'll make sure I do it quickly. So this is another thing that a bad bee understand. Her appearance is key. See, your appearance is going to get you one foot in, regardless of what anybody says. Your appearance is key. You must make sure that you look the part, so that when you talk and act the part, people would bow to your throne. So I'm pretty sure you have learned lessons from a beach, and make sure you go watch my videos, and see you in the next one.